Welcome to the True Grime Stories podcast, where in every episode, we'll unravel a new mystery of cleaning business transformation from a grimy mess to a great success. Join me, your host, Jeannie Henderson, as together we dig up cleaning business secrets that you've been dying to know. Welcome, everyone, to our next episode of True Grime Stories. I'm so glad you're here today, and I think you will be too, because we have an outstanding guest, Samahria Richie. I've known Samahria for several years. We're both, cleaning business owners, and I remember when she first started out, and I've seen an amazing transformation in her business. And that's why I asked her to be here today to share with you. So let me tell you a little bit about Samahria's story. So Samahria Richie is the owner of Two Sisters Made to Clean. She started out in Murfreesboro, Tennessee in 2017 and has expanded to a second location in Nashville. Her business is growing like crazy. And she founded the company with her sister, just starting out cleaning houses like many of us did. And she has built this company on a passion for creating clean, welcoming spaces and providing exceptional service. And she, has been obviously doing that really well because she was just awarded a Ruthie's Award, which is a Best of Rutherford County Award for 2024. So that was really cool. And so we just want to welcome her today, and I think you're going to love what Samahria has to share. So welcome, Samahria. How are you doing today?
Hey, Jeannie. I'm good. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear your story. So in the True Grime theme, we like to start out here talking about your grime scene. And as you know, and all of us know here in the cleaning business, it can get pretty grimy when we're first starting out. And when was that point when you realized that maybe it could be better than it was, or you were struggling? What was your grime scene like? What did your business look like at that point?
Yeah, so I was just in the field by myself a lot of the times, and I would have people coming in to help sometimes. I know that I started with my sister, and about 6 months in, she decided that she couldn't do it. She is terrified of cats.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And of course, we all know.
And if you're terrified of cats.
And we all know that about 80% of our clients have some type of animal, and most of the time it's at least a cat, at least one cat. And so she just said, I can't do it. We should stop. And so I thought about it, and I said, well, you can stop doing it, but I'm going to keep going and see what happens. Now, I was terrified because I had not cleaned by myself up to that point. It was always the both of us. So I wasn't sure that I would be able to actually pull it off, but I knew the potential of growing this business. And so she told me, she said, well, you should ask such and such if she would help you. It's somebody that we know mutually. And so that was the first person that I hired to help me. That lasted a few months. She was just a helper. And then my husband, shortly after that, started helping. He started helping me clean in between his jobs. And then I had a cousin who was also a male who would help. And it was funny because at one point it was all these males helping and me. And so the running joke every time we'd go to a client's house is, where's the other sister?
Well, that's what I call my brothers.
Yes, and so we did that up until for a couple years, and then I finally started hiring people, but I was paying them terribly. What
was your pay system like at that time?
This was probably around 2018, 2019. We were probably paying about $12 an hour, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so
we've all been there.
Yeah. So I had built up a team of maybe about 4 or 5 people, and they would go out and clean. And I was still cleaning with them at that time. And it makes a big difference when you're still out there cleaning with them. I think that it's easier to get people maybe to buy into the lower wage, especially if you have like a good personality and you're good to them. And so I think that's why I got them to stay so long at such a terrible wage.
They just loved working with you.
Yeah. But during COVID, I found at first in March, Johnny was like, well, my husband,
Mm-hmm.
he said, oh, I don't think we should clean. And I was like, well, either we're going to go clean or you're going to have to get a job. And he was like, okay. Like the
Okay,
next
I
day
think
we
I'll
went out.
clean.
Well, unfortunately, not unfortunately, fortunately, I got pregnant during this time span. And so Johnny was like, well, you can't go back, out there. And so we did end up hiring new people in October of 2020. We hired like 3 people because we lost everybody because of COVID. We had lost the people who we had built up on the team. I didn't know what I was doing, and I was just like, if I could just get to $500,000, like we would be great, but I couldn't figure
What
out
was the
how to
most
do
you
it.
had ever achieved revenue-wise by that point?
I think maybe a couple 100,000.
Okay.
I mean, not a couple, yeah, like 200,000. So but I was just like, how do you get to 500,000? Like, how do you get to $500,000? Like $1 million was totally not even on the radar because I was trying to figure out how to get to 500,000. And so I hired my first person, and this was in early, it had to have been in either it had to have been in 2020. I hired my first person that came in, and she flew down and she actually helped us with some stuff. She gave us some little tips. And
like a coach?
Yeah. And I was like, and then I just still felt like I just needed something else. And then some kind of way I ran across Debbie. I can't remember exactly how I ran across Debbie Sardone. And I called her, and I was in a house working. So this was before I got pregnant or found out I was pregnant. And I was like, hey, she's talking to me. She's asking me questions, and I'm in the middle of vacuuming while I'm talking to her.
Oh my goodness.
So, we ended up signing up, and then I was like, oh, I don't know if I should do this. I don't have the money and this and that. So I kind of backed out of it. And then it's funny because I don't even think it was 6 months later that I had reached back out to her, and she's trying to like talk to me again. And I'm like, I don't care how much it costs. Like she's trying to tell me the price. I'm like, look, just sign me up. And so I signed up for CBF, and that was pretty much how that went. But I just could not see how to get to $500,000. I tried, like independently, I couldn't figure out how to break through. And I knew that there was the potential there, but I just alone couldn't figure it out.
Yeah. Isn't it amazing? It seems like it shouldn't be that hard to do, but it really is, especially when we don't know like what our role is supposed to be in the business. And it sounds like you kind of flip flop back from, being in the field. Oh no, I'm not going to be in the field. And when I first met you, you were expecting your little one, and she is now how old?
3.
She's 3. So, and that's your 4th child.
Yeah, she's my 4th biological. I have a stepson who is 27. So, but she's my actual 4th biological child. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Well, good for you. And that always amazes me, like people who are doing it all. And that's really what you're doing. I mean, you're raising a great family and building this amazing business. So I watched this trajectory of your business from then. I just hit my microphone. From when you first started out to, where you are today. And so when you started, getting more education, you were working with Debbie Sardone. What was like one thing that really started to turn it around for you and change that growth trajectory for your business?
I would say for me, like I was all in. I was like, this is what I'm going to do. She's giving me the blueprint, and I immersed myself in her teachings. She has modules. So I immersed myself in those modules. Within the first 2 weeks, I had completed the whole modules that she had given. And then I was in a coaching group, and everything in the coaching group, I implemented. I think that, just being an implementer, soaking up everything, coming to all the events, and just really immersing myself helped because it was kind of like, this is it. Like, I'm spending this money, and I've seen the success stories. I know that I can do it. I had that faith in myself that I could do it. If I saw somebody else do it, I was like, oh yeah, I can do that too. So
Well, and that's one of the things that I really noticed about you right from the beginning. As a coach, I have been, I've been able to watch many people's businesses grow or not grow. And right from the get-go, you were like, okay, I'm just going to do that. And I'll be real honest, when I first started coaching with Debbie, I kind of argued with her a little bit. Like, I don't think we should do that. You know what I mean? Where you were just, no, if Debbie says it, I will do it. And that's the power of really working well with a coach, especially someone like the program that we're both in, which is Cleaning Business Fundamentals. It's proven. We see hundreds of other, probably thousands now of other cleaning businesses who have used this system. And so it's the not questioning and just implementing it, trying it the way that it's been proven to work. So so being an implementer, I think that is so key for people, understanding that there is a better way, than what you were doing. It obviously where you were going wasn't getting you where you wanted to be.
Right. I feel like if it's already proven, it's not like, okay, we're going to try this out together and see if it works. It's like, no, I've done this. I'm trying to help you to not make the same mistake that I've made. And also, by the time I had come into the coaching group, I guess I was probably a good 2 years into like trying to do things my way, because when I won't really count like that first year, because we were just trying to make some extra money. I had another business, and this was just to make extra money, like $300 a month, extra money. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't really something that we were really just intentionally doing until she left. Like towards the end of her leaving, I had started wanting to do some things that I don't think she wanted to do. Like I wanted to spend money on like t-shirts and cards and, all that stuff. And I don't know that she was on the same level as I was in thinking about that stuff. But when she left, I think I really got more intentional about making it a business and not just something we're doing to make some extra money. But once I got the tools, and I know when I was in your coaching group, Jeannie, one thing that still sticks out today, and you may get to this question later, but I'm sorry if so.
That's okay.
But one thing that you said was the math is the path. And I just live by that. Like even to today, if I'm trying to hit a revenue goal or I'm trying to do something, I'm crunching numbers because I know that if I want to hit this revenue, I need X amount of technicians, I need X amount of clients. Like I always go back to the math, and it just makes sense. It's in black and white. And so
so that is so true, is that taking someone's proven systems and following them can be the thing that really changes it for you. And I think some people are resistant to that because they're afraid that you'll become like all the other franchises or the other chain, cleaning companies, if you're not just doing it your way, if you're doing it someone else's way. But you have built a really unique local business that's highly respected, and I'm sure people, know this is a woman-owned local business. They want to support you. Can you talk to how it's different? It's like, just because you're using someone else's system doesn't mean that you're like a chain.
Yeah, it's funny because we actually had somebody reach out to us yesterday or the day before, and they said, "Hey, are y'all a franchise?" Because our branding is strong enough that it looks like a franchise, but it's not. It's just because we have we've placed systems. We have systems in place, and we have really good branding and marketing. We do community outreach. We support organizations such as Cleaning for a Reason, The Next Door, which helps women who are in recovery, and then also the Domestic Violence and Sexual Assault Center. And so we're able to really do that community outreach and put our name out there to where it looks like it might be a franchise, but it's not. It's single owned. And I think that people are attracted to that because they're like, wow, like you can do that without being a franchise. Like, yes, you can do that without being a franchise. So I think that we've really differentiated ourselves from our competitors just by caring. We care about our employees. We care about our clients. and we answer the phone.
Yeah, that's
So,
kind of a big thing that a lot of people miss that, they're like not
yeah,
answering the phone and then they wonder why they're not making the sale. It's like,
absolutely.
yeah.
And so I think that we've just done a really good job with our branding. Um, yeah, and I thought about changing our name after my sister left. Um, but even at about 6 months or so in, it still was like, no, we've already kind of started making a name for ourselves. Let's just keep it, because people always ask us the story. They always ask what's the story behind it. And
Mhm.
so it always allows me to go in and talk about my sister. We grew up as best friend sisters. I mean,
Mhm.
she's my actual blood sister, but we were really close. And she's
Mhm.
my older sister, my sister mama, my mama's sister. And
I have
so
I have a couple of those too.
yep, yep.
Yeah.
And so, and also, the person that probably knows the most about me, but so I'm able to do that. And people are like, I've got a sister, or I had a sister,
Mhm.
or, whatever. And it really just hits home with a lot of people.
Oh, that gave me goosebumps. That's so sweet. Well, I love this story, and I love the line about talking about being a local business, but being very professional, and how this training has helped you with that. So let's dig deeper into that now that you're out of your grime scene, and we'll investigate further on what the results have been for you. So let's take a break here and hear from our sponsor, Cleaning Business Fundamentals, and then we'll be right back.
Is your cleaning business a grime story? There's no need to stay stuck in the muck, because you're not alone. With over 500 active members and more than 500 graduates of our Cleaning Business Fundamentals program, CBF is the #1 cleaning business academy in the world and has created more mop-free millionaires than any program in the industry. Learn more and let CBF take your residential cleaning business from a grime story to a gleaming success.
Well, welcome back, everyone. I'm here with Samahria Richie with Two Sisters Made to Clean in Tennessee. And Samahria was just sharing her story about how sometimes her brand is so strong that people think she's a national brand, but she's actually really local and really involved in the community, and how that pays off. So let's talk a little bit more about that, Samahria. So you've built this brand. I love that you created it as a story brand, right? It's a brand
Yes,
with a story behind it. And I think everyone, if you're building your brand right now, or you have a brand but you want to strengthen it, like adding your story is so important. People buy from people, right? They
that's
don't,
correct.
they don't buy from a business. They want to know your story. Um, so how has that changed things for you, that you actually can tell your story? How does it build those bonds with your clients and your team?
It helps to connect. I think it allows them to connect more with the client when they're out in the home, and our technicians especially, they're able to talk to them about our company. Oh yeah, it's woman owned. Even that it's black owned. A lot of people are like, oh, I didn't know that. Um, and then just even in the office we have remote workers. So I have my main salesperson is in Florida, and she just loves she's worked with me on and off for about 3 years now, and she just loves that we are that family. We have that family feel. When we have our level 10s, we let all the remote workers attend that meeting, of course. And so it just really is a family environment. I know that a lot of people in business shy around from saying that, it's like a family. But I will say that I feel like the way that our culture is within our company, it has that family feel.
Yeah. Oh, that's so great. And so Samari was talking about the level 10s. That's your leadership team meeting, right? And
Yeah.
and it's so great that even though you have remote workers, you're still including them in that process. In this day and age, remote workers is just a normal thing, and you can still make it feel like you're working on it together and build a great company without having to be in an office, or a lot of people think they have to own a big office with a bunch of people in it, but you really don't have to.
No, you don't. And I've learned through trial and error on that too, because I had tried to have remote workers in the past and I didn't include them in those type of meetings, the planning meetings or anything. And it didn't go well. It didn't go too well for us. But now they tell me that that's the highlight of their week to be able to
Oh,
come in and have those meetings. And so it definitely helps the cohesion of your team to make sure that you just treat them like any other employee. Treat a remote worker like they are a remote worker, whether they're international or in the United States. You
mhm.
just treat them like they actually are at home sick and they actually work inside your office or something and they're working
Right.
remote.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just build that same relationship. Well, that's amazing. And then
Yeah.
you mentioned earlier, you were talking about your community involvement. I think that really adds to your story. When did you start getting involved with the community? How has that, helped to drive your growth? I know you don't do it for that reason. I know you do it because you want to give back, but I'm sure it's had an impact on your brand.
Yeah, it has. And we started pretty early on trying to give back to different things. We would set up for smaller things when we were smaller early on, but it's just evolved to something that we can do on a larger scale. And it does help because they do shout you out on social media. We even support some of like the little softball teams and stuff. And so they'll put your logo on the back and there's different things like that you do that's really all marketing, although you don't necessarily walk into it for that purpose. And the organizations that I chose were things that are near and dear to me because of my background and my story. I've chosen to partner with those organizations.
That's amazing. And you're also involved with Cleaning for a Reason as well, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that, it just ties into what we do so well. And all these things kind of come together to create like a beautiful story about your business. And like I said before, people buy from people. And
Right.
I think in this world today that people are making their businesses like too automated. There's like too much distance between the customer and individuals. And I think it's such a
Yes.
refreshing experience for people when you pick up the phone and there's a human being, not a digital voice on the other end, and they can feel your caring. So it sounds like that's a big part of your brand and your success and your
Yeah.
differentiation.
Absolutely, because I even have people like it allows me, the organizations that I chose to support allows me to tell my story in a way of no shame. And so, because they see that I have been able to be successful and I'm able to share that story, it gives people hope. And so, even if they're not supporting us financially by purchasing services from us, it's that full circle. It's like helping them see if she did it, I can do it type of deal. And it just really is rewarding for me and even my employees. A lot of times we hire people who may have gone through some things, and it's just refreshing to know that you can work in a place that doesn't have that layer of judgment.
That's so beautiful. Oh my goodness. I absolutely love it. I actually was with one of my mentors earlier this week, and he was talking about it was a marketing conference, and he was talking about how what do people really buy when they're choosing to buy from a company? And what they really want is hope for something better.
Yes.
People are buying hope, and we can be hope dealers in our businesses and, kind of giving people that hope. So that's really cool. So you've achieved a lot. You blew through that $500,000 goal. I was
Yeah.
there the day that you got your green jacket when you hit the million, when you passed the $1 million mark, which was so cool as a coach to be there. Just so emotional to watch that happen. So congratulations
Yeah.
on that.
Thank you.
So, and now you have a second location. What is your vision for the future for Two Sisters Made to Clean?
Um, so I want to open up a couple more locations. So I want to have about 3 satellite locations within an hour or so of this location. And yeah, so that'll be probably within the next 3 years or so, I want to be able to expand to other locations. And yeah, that's what our vision looks like right now.
And, it's not just a business. You talk about family a lot. How has this changed your life and the life of your family?
It's provided freedom for us. My husband was able to quit his job and come work for us full time.
Oh my goodness, that's huge.
So he works full time in the company, and so we're able to spend time together. I am able to spend more time with my children because I can go to the parent teacher conferences in the middle of the day or field trips. We actually take 4 family trips a year. I'm able to take my family with me on our conferences, and
I've met all of your family.
yeah, and all of the children do some type of work in the business. So my high schooler, she's graduating this year, and she actually has a work. It's not work study, but it's like where they come and work for you a part of the day instead of going to school. And so she's doing that now, and she's really interested in marketing. So she does our TikTok. So if you've ever seen any of our TikToks, she does our TikTok.
Oh, I'm going to check that out. That's cool.
She's a whiz in Canva, so she creates different Canva things for us, and she's in DECA, so she's working on a project for culture for the employees. My son, when he's home from college, he helps. He goes out and cleans, and my 9-year-old helps my 17-year-old clean the office on the weekends. And the baby girl, I'm teaching the baby girl how to work at home. So when I'm folding towels, she's folding the washcloths, and she does a pretty good job. And so she likes to sweep and vacuum. So they all are getting acclimated within the company on some type of level. And I've told my oldest 2 children, my 19 and 17-year-old, hey, this is for you if you want it. I'm gonna hold on to it for a little bit for you. And so they're like, I don't know, Mom. So we'll see.
Oh, that's so cool. But it truly is a family business, and you've created so much success, and you're setting your future generations on a completely different path probably than where it might have been otherwise.
Yes.
Isn't that cool? That is just so great. Well, how inspiring that is. Your story is just, I heard so many things I didn't know about you today. So I'm glad that we had this time together. Thank you for sharing about
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no, that is so great. And I know that our audience is going to find your story inspiring. Many of us are trying to run businesses with our spouses. Should have had Johnny on here to hear his side of the story. Maybe we'll do a couple series down the road. But a lot of us have those challenges. So hearing that you've been able to build this great, successful family business is just so inspiring. So congratulations, Samahria. Thank you. And we'll wrap up here today. Thank you for sticking around with us to hear about Samahria's grime story. And if your business is a grime story, it doesn't have to stay that way. And we're here to support you. So check out the show notes, click the links. If you'd like to talk with me about cleaning business fundamentals, there's a link where you can sign up for a free call. But thank you for joining us for this episode of True Grime Stories. Make sure and join us next time. Thanks, everyone.
That's a wrap on today's True Grime Stories. Thanks for joining us in uncovering the secrets of cleaning business success. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and download, and check out our show notes for links and info from today's episode, and to learn more about our sponsor, Cleaning Business Fundamentals. Join us next time as we solve another True Grime story.